Hi, crafty friend. It's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Look at all these pretty pattern papers. Today, I'm going to do a few things. First of all, I'm going to do something that I've never done with my BetterPress involving cleaning products. Then I'm going to be doing something else, which is a little odd, which is re-inking on camera. And then I'm going to foil with black paper. So before I do any of that loveliness, I'm going to cut down some of my pattern papers so they are A2 sized, or they might be a little bit under 5x7. This is just going to get me ready to go for all my pressing. And I have quite a lot of pressing to do, and I have edited it, so it is hopefully a little satisfying to watch all of the reveals. It should be lots of fun, so I hope you stick around. Here I'm showing just all the different pattern papers. I have them organized by kind of like glossy finish to matte finish. And then of course I pulled out just regular BetterPress paper. So let's dive right into it. Like I said, I'm going to be doing something first with my cleaning product. Now, the cleaning product I use for my BetterPress machine is from LDRS Creative. LDRS Creative stands for Little Darling Rubber Stamps, and it is a fabulous company. So I have gone ahead and pressed out this stunning flower. You might be able to see a little sneak peek of some of them on the side, but here I am cleaning the whole plate. It is full of ink because this BetterPress plate from Yana's collection is stunning and huge. And I looked at it and I thought, I can't just let that sit there. So I squirreled around in my craft room and tried to find a piece of watercolor paper that was about 5x7. So then I'm just going to line it up and roll it through my machine. So it has ink on there and cleaning agent on there. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, it's called Extreme Clean from ldrscreative.com. If you want 15% off of anything on that website, you can use my friend Melanie's code Melanie15 and you can get 15% off anything on LDRS Creative. Look how fun that turned out. It was such an experiment, and I love doing things like this in my craft room and just seeing how things go. And I'm going to set this little lady to the side and let her dry because she is full of ink, full of cleaning product, very saturated. The watercolor paper is going to hold up well. Just a spoiler alert, it's super cool, and it looks nothing like this when it's dry. So we're going to come back to that one in about 20 minutes of the video-ish. All right. Now that that is set aside, let's get to some more pressing. And before I do that, I'm just going to show you how clean I can get my plates with the cleaning product from LDRS Creative. So I'm going to finish cleaning this off. I have cleaning product on there like you saw before. I pressed it, so some of it came off on my paper, and now I'm just using a rag and wiping off some of it. And like I said before, this BetterPress plate is a very solid plate, so a lot of ink is used when pressing it. It is so gorgeous, but it does take a lot of ink, so it's going to take a little bit of effort to clean as well, which is just fine. I find that using this cleaning product is really helpful. I'm not sponsored or anything from them. I just really think it's a good product to have if you're going to be BetterPressing personally. I would definitely recommend doing the dauber motion, like when you're playing bingo, instead of smearing and rubbing. Just go up and down, kind of like pounce around, basically. But look how clean this comes. It just really blows my mind because I was using BetterPress ink, which is a pigment ink. So it is nice and sticky and dark, very solid black, and it cleans it up with no problem. So I'll finish cleaning that up and then we'll get into some satisfying pressings. I know that you're excited for that because I was, at least I hope you're excited for that. I was very excited. Now with these press plates, they are very solid and they use quite a bit of ink. So I recommend having re-inkers if you are going to be using your BetterPress on plates like this one. And having the little re-inkers on hand can be so helpful when you are trying to get a very deep saturated look. I'm going to press out one and you'll see it's not as dark as I'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and repress it. And that comes with its own challenges. So we'll see how that goes. I love that these BetterPress plates come with stencils as well. And I haven't used them, just being frank, yet, because I had so much fun with the pattern paper making these dramatic backgrounds with the BetterPress plates. I haven't even pulled out my stencils yet. But, oops, I had that backwards a little bit. Not that it really matters per se, but some people say that you need to line up the BetterPress logos on the top with the clear plate and the white platen. You can see mine are right there on the top. I don't know. I sometimes do it, sometimes I don't. So you can see here on this one, it wasn't as solid black as I want. And I'm in a let's figure it out kind of mood. So I'm going to attempt a repress. But first, we're going to re-ink. So whenever I re-ink, I just kind of squirt out some of the product. And then without squeezing, I will gently just rub the ink around that's on top of the pad without adding more product, just to work it into the ink pad itself. That way it can get nice and juicy and it's ready to go. Seems like I was using a lot of ink here, but my pad was pretty dry. So here I am not squeezing now and just doing kind of circular motions and just rubbing it in. Another way to do that would be using like a popsicle stick, but I find that since the tip of this is already full of ink, why get something else dirty when this is already full of ink? All right, I'm going to go ahead and speed that up a little bit so it's not so crazy, but it did take me just maybe a minute and a half to do. So most crafting experts would not recommend you press your BetterPress image twice because the BetterPress plate could move, your paper could move, things could go astray. Anyway, and make your press not turn out perfectly. But like I said, I'm in one of those moods where I just want to see how it goes. So I'm doing it anyway. And we'll see how it turns out. I'll just run it through my platinum. Now I keep my platinum, which is the platinum 8.5 inch. So it's the big daddy one, off camera because it is super big and it has its own little stand. Haha, no issues. Look how dark that is. Ooh, I just love that. If you didn't know, I love black and I'm excited to use stencils on this plate. Now, like I said, I have not stenciled any of her daisies yet, Yana's daisies yet, but I will. So at the end, I'll tell you more about that. But look how neat that is. It is so dark. And the stencils are really going to make this pop. I can't wait to pick out some really bright colors, maybe some pinks and oranges and yellows, and just make it very springy, summery with that dark background. I think it's really going to pop. Ooh, maybe with like a twisted citron for the green parts of the flowers. Oh, that would be so cool. Well, that will have to wait for another day. Let's get to pressing some more. I'm going to bring out this big plate again, and we will press this one out. Now, I like that this one is big. This is a 5x7 press plate, which is fabulous because it gives you options. The first option is to make a 5x7 card, and that is nice and large, or you could use a 5x7 piece of paper. And you can cut it in the middle, so going horizontally across, and then you can get two card fronts. You'll have to use some layering dies to mat it up, so it is not going to be like a full A2 on the top, full A2 on the bottom, but it's just another way to stretch your supplies a little bit and to save some time in your craft room, and just ink it once, press it out once, and cut it in half, and now you have two card fronts. So this BetterPress plate is just super, super dramatic. I love how these plates are they're perfect for ink. And this one that I'm pressing out right now is an A2. So I'm not going to go all the way to the corners because I simply just don't need to. But when I pull out my bigger paper in a little bit, you'll see that is a little bit necessary as well. I was really going to be dramatic with the inking there. Now these plates would look so good, not just with black ink, but with other inks as well. So I have not done that either. So lots of possibilities that I can still use these plates for, and I haven't even given them my full potential yet, and I've had so much fun already. I just love stretching my craft supplies in that way and just making art. Ooh, look at that. That looks neat. All with the BetterPress black. It's so dramatic. Oh dear. Okay, well, let's talk about tape placement. You might have noticed I taped my paper there on the bottom right and then the top left. Because this is an A2 sized piece, I will eventually cut it down to layer on this paper onto a back. So what I'm going to do for that is cut off a 1/4 of an inch on the right side and then 1/4 of an inch on the top. And then that will give me a 1/4 of an inch border all the way around so I can layer this onto other paper. And I think that will look so, so nice. Plus then my little tape, if it's covering something, you can't even tell. Some people will do the whole tape roll thing, which I have definitely done in the past. But since this background is so solid, I do not want any tape to disturb any of the background. This pattern paper I've had in my stash for so long. I can't even tell you how long I've had it. Probably since I was very young. I remember scrapbooking with this paper with my mom in the early 2000s, late 90s. But here it's having a fun life, and just look at it. Ombre loveliness. Now, if you don't have pattern paper like this, you could certainly do this press plate and then just use the stencils and make it ombre with adding a dark pink on the bottom and light at the top. I did not get enough ink on this one, so I'm going to risk it for the biscuit and press this one again. Is risk it for the biscuit a saying that you've heard before? I think it's a Minnesota thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Oh, look at that. So solid. Really nice. Now here we're going to get to this part of the video where there's a whole bunch of satisfying presses. So you're in for a treat. Here we go. This pattern paper, it looks kind of like newspaper. It's a glossy one. Oh, it's so cool. It's double-sided as well. Look at that. It looks like it was pressed on newspaper. That is so neat. All right, here's another one. Boom. Just kidding. It was me taking it off. But look at that. You can see the reflection in my camera light. And this one is kind of like a marbly background. This one turns out so cool. I love this one. If I can link the papers, I will link as much as I can down below. I know that those marble papers are still for sale, but that is just so pretty, isn't it? Kind of looks like I used alcohol inks to make that, but I did not. Ooh, this pattern paper was so fun to press. It's very, very busy, and look what it looks like with this press plate on top. Ta-da! Ooh, I like that. Looks really cute to me anyway. Okay, I'm going to do something cool with that one at the end, so stay tuned. This one, again, very busy pattern paper, but I thought let's try it. Those two are from the Just Saying collection that came out this year from Spellbinders and Kelly. I'm going to double press this one because for whatever reason on the right side of my plate, I did not ink as much. So I'll just try that one once again. I was feeling really bold. Usually the double presses work pretty good with a plate that is very solid like this one because it has so much metal. It's getting a very strong magnetized moment to the back of the BetterPress magnet, so it's not going to move as much. But for sentiments, I would be cautious. Ooh, this one is giving me like all the Jamaican vibes. I thought this was really cool paper. This one is from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. Oh, that is so cool. I love that one. I'm going to use some of my new Hero Arts items with this paper and make a celebration style card. I'm definitely reaching for my 5x7 papers more often, which is kind of fun. Look at this one with the other daisy. Ooh, big, bold stripes. Super cool. More watercolory style paper. This would be a great way to use some of your backgrounds up that you might have from watercoloring or using stencils up and just getting that really pretty solid look. Okay, now I know I said I had a favorite before, but I think this might be another one of my favorites. No, actually the one I did with the cleaner is my favorite, but look at how cool this looks with the music notes. And then look what it looks like with the light hitting it. Are you ready? I'm going to show you real close. Here we go. It's just so cool. I think that I'm going to give this to one of my coworkers who is a music teacher. I think she'll enjoy this one. I definitely have to add purple because she's a purple person. All right, this one was baby blue pattern paper. This was from a very old, probably 4 or 5 years old Christmas card kit from Spellbinders. Look at that. Oh, that would be so pretty for like a sympathy card maybe. Here is some more watercolor. Ooh, purpley. Maybe she'll like that one. I don't know. Now, this paper was kind of strange. It had beige to pink and it had argyle on it. It was from, I think, the Nutcracker one. But look how cool that is. I kept pressing them. I could not stop. Okay, let's come back to this drama card, which is basically the star of the show. Maybe all the pattern paper is. I don't know. But they're all competing. So this is what it looked like before or after. It has now dried with a lot of that cleaning product and the ink. So it definitely looks very muted. And I don't want it to look muted when it's finished. So I'm actually going to repress it. Isn't that strange? No, because I don't think it's going to move. I had all the confidence in the world after repressing so many other of these pattern papers that I thought, let's just try it. What's the harm? The worst thing that could happen is it gets bumped and it looks odd. But spoiler alert, it looks really cool. So there's that. I'm going to just put it in the same spots as it was before. If it's off a little, no one will really know because the big, bold, like the darkness of this black ink really won't even matter. It will cover it up. So here we go. Running it through. Little drum roll. After this, we're going to do some foiling with black paper. Isn't that neat? I hope you have tried this black paper I'm going to use. If you haven't, you're going to want to. Look at that. Oh, that was just so cool. Full disclosure, when I was making this video, at this point I started sobbing because to me this looked like a sympathy card and like all the emotions came back from one of the times where I had a death in the family. Not to get too personal or anything, but I had a very emotional death in the family the week of my wedding, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And this card reminded me of like how I felt during the funeral, because it was very much like dark, and that this background reminds me of what I would say is like an appropriate sympathy card when it's such a big loss. So with this card, we're going to make it a sympathy card. So moving on, for glimmering black paper, I use this black paper that is from Pajama Crafter Stamps. I know that I usually am a tape person when it comes to glimmering, but I've been trying to not use tape as much and just see if it works. And it's been okay. We're not going to say it's been great, but it's been okay. After my timer went off, I just dislodged it and carefully put my top on. I'll run it through my press machine, carefully remove the lid. This is the white glimmer from Spellbinders and black paper from Pajama Crafter Stamps. I think it's the best paper for glimmering black paper. Black paper can be kind of hard to glimmer. These sentiments are from Yana's collection as well. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you might be looking at that going, wow, I had horrible results with black paper and that looks way better than what I did. Or you might be looking at it and going, there's some gaps there. Yes, like on the H for Crafty Hugs or the Y on the Thinking of You. Yes, there was a little gap and I don't know why, but there's that. If you know why, let me know in the comments. But I do know a fix for it that is very simple and easy peasy. It is grabbing a white gel pen. This one is the 05. So it is very thin. Gotta wake it up. There we go, gel pen. And I'll just gently go over where it is pressed in. Really simple. And then after fixing up any of those mistakes, we will get to the die cutting of those beautiful sentiments. Did you know that you can glimmer BetterPress plates? Yes, you can. Isn't that neat? So I'm going to give these a shot and BetterPress them or foil them. I'm using this really fun orange foil that I have not used very much in my craft room. I've been trying to stretch myself a little bit with grabbing different colors that I don't typically reach for. So this one, I think it's called Tangerine. And we're using Glimmer Specialty cardstock for this. And I'm going to do the hinge method, which is just making a hinge basically with the foil. And we'll foil that up. Now, I do have the best results using the BetterPress or the Glimmer Specialty cardstock because it is super smooth. For the white paper, that is. Some of the white papers I have in my craft room are too porous, so they don't foil well. But typically, I have very good results with the Glimmer Specialty cardstock. This one, I do have a little bit of under foiling at the top for whatever reason, but it's no big deal. Just do a peel and reveal, and I'll show you. Ta-da! Look how cool that is. I mean, the top, whatever. I can just chop it and crop it, but that looks super neat. And I did have a little bit of foil that was hanging off, so we're just going to use my little rubber eraser thingy and just gently relieve any of the foil that's remaining. This BetterPress plate, though, is so fun because you can get those dramatic backgrounds either with the foil or the BetterPress ink, and it just looks so pretty. And I had way too much fun playing with the foil, as you can see. All right, let's foil the big one. Now for this press, we're going to use Moon Dust because it's my favorite glimmer color, besides using white with the dark paper. And we're not going to use tape. What? I know. Crazy, aren't I? Here's what it looks like with the white. I'm actually going to leave that on because we're also going to use Moon Dust with the black. Ta-da! Super cool. Again, I had a little overfoiling, which is no big deal. It just flakes off. If you didn't want to use your little eraser, you could certainly use your finger. It doesn't even have to be that serious, but it definitely is so pretty. Look at that. Oh, wow. Those two are just like chef's kiss. So cute together. All right, we'll do the same color Moon Dust with the black cardstock. Da-da-da-da. Here we go. The sound effect is important. Let's peel and reveal. Ooh, look at that. So pretty. I love black and Moon Dust. That is so pretty. I am going to be doing a lot of space themed cards on my channel within the next few weeks, and I am super excited because of the black and gold. But I just threw this in the video. Do you see the difference? On the right side, I used the black paper from Pajama Crafter Stamps, and on the left side, I used just a regular black cardstock from my craft room, and you could see the difference between how they foiled. One was very muted and blah and missing a lot of foiling, so it was very underfoiled, and with the black paper from Pajama Crafter Stamps, it is perfectly foiled. Now, I'm using my glue bottle here, but since I filmed this video, I have picked up the My Sweet Petunia glue press thing that looks kind of like a drill. That glue applicator is so good. It was probably the best thing that I have bought for my business in 2025. I am loving that silly glue press. But anyway, let's just move right along. With the My Sentiment, I'm popping it up with some foam because that's what I like to do with sentiments. Sending love and hugs is really all that you need for a sympathy card. I'm going to nest it on the bottom and just have the main focus be the flowers. But that sentiment is super heartfelt and beautiful with the handwriting scripty font. Now I have finished off these 4, and I will show you some more finished projects on the end of this video. But if you see a good one that you like here, let me know in the comments which one you like best. And then also follow my Instagram, which is Stationery by Justine. I'm going to be posting some more of like the stenciled ones and some more of these finished projects on my Instagram, because frankly, this video is already going to be about a half an hour long, and I think that I've kept you here long enough. Although a lot of people say they don't mind the longer videos, but I just love that music note paper. Look at how cool that is. That is glossy, by the way. I think that's why it's so shiny. So pretty. If you are a music person, maybe this one is your favorite. I don't know. There's some really big feelings about certain colors though. So if you're a purple person, you probably like the purple one best. But I really did have a lot of fun with the pattern papers and just had fun experimenting in my craft room. Ooh, that newspaper one is cool too. I was just having the most fun looking at them with the lights. Well, if you are watching at the end of this, I'm going to challenge you to use one of these press plates with some pattern paper that you might have in your stash. Let's just take one more look at those pretty glimmered ones. Maybe you could glimmer some. If you have pattern paper that is shiny, you can try glimmering on that. But look, you could just pop a little sentiment on these, and that would be just an easy card that you might need for someone. All right, here's a quick look at some more that I have finished. Like I said, go ahead and let me know which one is your favorite in the comments. Ooh, this one with the green, that might be my second favorite. Oh, these Celebrate dies, by the way, those are from Hero Arts. They're part of their new release from March. That Missing You one is really cute too. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you in my next video. Bye, crafty friend.